Hey everybody, it's Nitro for Nitromaniac TV's a wrestling channel, and this is my take on Ring of Honor's Final Battle pay-per-view that went down on December 14th, 2018 from the Hammerstein Ballroom, New York City. This is just my thoughts in general on the card. Kind of going match by match here and laying it out to you folks. So please like, comment, share, and talk to me. What were your thoughts? Opening match, Eli Isom versus Kenny King. This is my first time ever seeing Eli Isom in a match from any promotion. So this was a very interesting debut performance for me to watch. I know it's not his debut. He's wrestled on some past shows in the past. He's got a win over Christopher Daniels in the past in Ring of Honor and so forth. But this was my first time checking out Eli, and I will be watching him a lot in 2019. I think this could be one of the standout breakout guys that Ring of Honor is going to bring in, now that there's some vacancies and that stuff on that roster. With the departures of Punishment Martinez to NXT, and then the Elite doing their thing, whatever that might be, etc. going forward. So, he's got a really good base for a junior style. It'll be interesting to see how the character and how everything kind of develops and evolves here over the next few years. But we'll look back at this match with Kenny King probably in a few years' time if this kid is a rising star and be like, all right, this is where it started, King got the win in the matchup, but for an opener, hey, pretty high intensity. I can't complain. It was a really entertaining opener to the show. Next match, Jeff Cobb, the ROH Television Champion, puts the belt on the line against Hangman Adam Page. This is rumored to be Adam Page's last match for Ring of Honor for a while, maybe even if ever, just due to the fact of this whole all elite wrestling thing or promotion or idea, I guess, that's kind of germinated here over the past few months. Rumors are hot and heavy about that being a startup for 2019 sometime. So if that's the case, and it kind of coincides with all these guys, their contracts are kind of ending at the same time with Ring of Honor. So it's a lot of fun to speculate where they might go, whether they go exclusive to New Japan and New Japan only, whether they are going to do the New Japan All Elite Wrestling thing, which is probably the most likely scenario, or what's probably the farthest fetched right now is everybody jumping ship back to WWE. But then that faction would get split up into so many different, sectors. It would be unreal right now. Because if you take the Elite and you throw Kenny Omega and maybe even Kota Ibushi in there, and they jump over, then Kenny, Cody might be main roster quality at this point. The Bucks might be main roster quality at this point, although I'm sure Triple H would love to use them in NXT. Hangman Page, probably NXT. I know Marty Scurll isn't jumping right now, and they just started with dark matches and that stuff, as we'll talk about a little later on, with a new faction. With him, if he were to jump, it would probably be NXT. I mean, you'd have it split in so many ways that these guys would be singles wrestlers for a while, much like they've done with AJ and Finn Balor before bringing, Gallows and Anderson back into the fold. And that stuff. It's almost, not worth it. But anyway, off on that tangent. The match itself between Cobb and Page was amazing. Hangman Page's 2018 between New Japan and Ring of Honor has been stellar. I think he's really elevated himself this year, and he'll look back at it from a few years from now and be like, yeah, that was the year that things started to happen for me, which it did. Even with the build into All In, all of that, and then going forward off of it. So, hey, great match. Jeff Cobb, of course, retains the ROH television title. They got quite the momentum thing going. I can't wait to see what happens with him at the Supercard next year at Madison Square Garden, Jeff Cobb. You'd have to think that there'd be a big match for him at MSG, because this guy looks like he's just waiting for a big match dance partner. Women's four-way for the Women of Honor Championship. Kelly Klein defeating Sumi Sakai, Madison Rayne, and Karen Q in a four-corner survival elimination match. It's a staple of ROH from way back in the day, these four-corner survivals. I remember way back when, in the tape trading days and that stuff, just seeking those matches out because they were just insane. And I think like the six-man scrambles as well too that they used to do were insane. But this is going back, many years with Ring of Honor, these four-corner survivals. They might be the one promotion right now that does four-corner matches very flawlessly, and this one was another one to add to that point. Very stellar. Kelly Klein walking out with the Women of Honor Championship, the Gatekeeper as she is called. You know what? I thought that was going to be the default choice when they did the tournament, I should say, to have her as like a heel champion in the division, because just the way the tournament brackets were set up, to have her beat a Tenille or beat a Brandy Rhodes or something like that. But kudos to ROH and their creative and their management with going with Sumi Sakai for so long as the Ring of Honor Women of Honor champion. I think she's really established that division as a must-watch as part of the Ring of Honor programming. It still needs a lot of work. It's almost Shimmer light right now, a little bit. And if you want to, watch decent women's indie wrestling, watch Shimmer or Shine. Right now, I think those are the two main, in my opinion, promotions that really do it. Bellatrix is another one if you dig your UK content. But Women of Honor getting some traction in that stuff right now. I'd put it ahead of Impact's Knockouts division a little bit, just due to the fact that other than Tessa and Taya, the Knockouts division over in Impact, well, maybe with a few others in there. I mean, Impact's got a few others too in that division. So I'd put it neck and neck. Sure. I think they're pretty even right now with the talent rosters that they have, and it would never happen, but I would love to see a Women of Honor versus an Impact Knockouts super card from top to bottom. If you could get both companies to agree upon something. They worked together during the Jericho Cruise a little bit, so it is very possible that it could happen. But hey, 2019 talk. Hopefully it happens, right? A match that was a match of the night contender for a while on this card. Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Jonathan Gresham. This was a lot of fun. The Octopus versus, ZSJ, who is Technical Wrestling Supreme, bringing that Suzuki-gun swagger to Ring of Honor. This was awesome. And they were saying this was Zack Sabre Jr.'s Ring of Honor debut. Is that true? Is that a deal? Put it below in the comments. Because if that's the case, then hey, what a hell of a debut performance, obviously. This guy is tearing up New Japan right now, the New Japan Cup winner this year. And of course, about the only downside is they didn't bring Taka with him. I would have still stuck Taka with him, even though he was appearing in North America and can cut promos, obviously well in English, not so well in Japanese, which is why they gave him Taka. But, that's the thing, it's just, it's... ZSJ is going to have a huge run in 2019 with a belt of some kind, maybe even a Ring of Honor belt, maybe a New Japan belt of some sort. After Wrestle Kingdom, I would definitely slap that IWGP Intercontinental belt on ZSJ for a bit and see what he could do with it. It's just that this guy is so busy worldwide with his independent bookings and such that it's I can only imagine how many times WrestleMania weekend in New York this guy is going to wrestle. Just it's probably going to be mind-boggling, and mind-blowing. Yeah, absolutely. But great match, a sleeper match of the night contender. Obviously, not in my opinion match of the night, but entertaining watch for sure. The self-proclaimed ROH World Champion Matt Taven taking on Dalton Castle. This was for Taven's Kingdom Edition, I guess, ROH World Championship. He put it on the line at the beginning of the match. Just kind of furthering that whole feud right now with Taven against Ring of Honor management and so forth, claiming that he is the uncrowned world champion. You know where this leads. Taven versus Lethal, maybe even at the Supercard for unification for the belts or something, or maybe for something down the road. We'll see. If a guy's got a fake belt and there's a real world champion, it's kind of imperative that these two meet at one time to kind of unify the belts. So I think there's still some mileage left with the storyline, but you know it's bound to happen one of these days. Taven's just got to get some wins. He got a big one on a weekend over Dalton Castle, and so the momentum just keeps building and building, so forth, as that storyline progresses and moves on into 2019. I'm really happy for Matt. He's a guy that I enjoyed in that very first iteration of the Kingdom with Mike Bennett and Maria, and I was heartbroken when he had that injury a few years ago that kind of pretty much kept him from jumping over to First Impact and then maybe potentially over to WWE with Mike and Maria at that time. You know, he definitely would think that he would have jumped over to Impact with them to have them as a heel faction or a heel tag team at that stage of the game. But yeah, it's good that he's finally getting his just due right now as a heel. I prefer him as a heel. He's a great heel, and yeah, going forward, it's awesome. And Dalton Castle's always fun to watch on a pay-per-view too. So check this match out. It was very entertaining. Marty Scurll versus Christopher Daniels. A lot of rumor and innuendo going into this match that this might be Christopher Daniels' final Ring of Honor pay-per-view appearance as a wrestler going forward. Remains to be seen if that's the case or not. I would think that a guy that's done so much for Ring of Honor would get a spot on that G1 Supercard show, and maybe that might be the last hurrah if that's the case. Whichever way that leads, who knows? But I think that might be the direction that it's trending. Again, not looking at the spoilers of any of the TV tapings after this. This is just, again, a first impressions vlog slash, not even a review, just spilling out what I interpreted by watching this card and this card only. And again, I don't really pay much like attention or and so forth to the spoilers. I kind of watch things as they happen anyway. Spoilers are nice from time to time, but it's not imperative for me to watch them. So, and it seems that Marty Scurll is staying with Ring of Honor in this whole elite, will they stay, will they go type thing, because they just gave him a new faction with PCO and Brody King in their latest round of television tapings named Villain Enterprises. So it'll be interesting to see that trio work going forward into 2019, obviously with Marty as the leader. Very credible leader at that point. Great match. This one was pretty snug from top to bottom. I enjoyed it. Very junior heavyweight centric, which is the style that these guys wrestle. And hey, no disappointment here. This was a cool match, very fun match to watch. Go check it out if you haven't had the chance yet. And kind of spilling over at the end of the match, Daniels getting adulation from the crowd with the whole will he or won't he retire storyline right now. And then out of nowhere comes Bully Ray, low blows Christopher Daniels, and we go right hot and heavy into the next match, which was the I Quit match between Flip Gordon and Bully Ray, which was, there were tropes and homages galore in this thing. Kind of, you know, they were doing classic Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA, I Quit match from Starrcade type spots with the mic. Because it's one of those things where the ref grabs a mic and asks the wrestler whether they say I quit or not. It's I don't know. I mean, I remember when I was a kid watching the Tully Magnum TA thing and thinking that was the only really hokey thing about that entire deal was the ref asking with a mic, a live mic, whether the wrestlers quit or not. It was kind of, I don't know. That was kind of, it didn't expose business to me, but it kind of just, too show businessy, I guess, the other type of business. So I've put in your comments below and that's what you think about that. I mean, that was just an observation from my end. But you had a spot where Christopher Daniels saved Kerry Silken because Daniels is still down and out on the outside of the ring. He just recovered, and Bully Ray was going to cane Kerry Silken on the outside of the ring, and Daniels dove across and took the cane shot instead. So that's obviously furthering the whole will Daniels stay with ROH? Will he get a contract extension, or will this be it for him storyline going forward? Again, they may have alluded to it in the spoilers and the TV tapings after this. They may have not. At this point, haven't seen them yet. Don't care to. Then we had a ECW One Night Stand 2006 flashback where Flip Gordon's girlfriend was sitting ringside throughout the entire night. And she kind of stuck out like a sore thumb to me throughout the entire card because here's this gorgeous, drop-dead, great-looking blonde sitting ringside in amongst wrestling fans, and it's like, one of these things is not like the other, right? But it was one of those things, and just before Bully powerbombs Flip's girlfriend into oblivion through the table, Kerry Silken makes the save with the cane. So the feud between Bully and upper management continues on, and will continue on into 2019. I think this is something that Ring of Honor has established over the past year or so, and that they really, really want to carry through into 2019. And maybe we get a big blow off at the Supercard if they want to make that a huge event at Madison Square Garden over Mania weekend. Then we had the Tommy Dreamer Beulah spot with Flip Gordon and his girlfriend, where Flip, bloody as all hell, makes out with his girlfriend. Is at the Manhattan Center. I think it was ringside. I don't think they actually had it in the ring at this time and that stuff. That's the only difference. But yeah, that was right from One Night Stand 2006, the Terry Funk Tommy Dreamer versus who was that? Oh yeah, Mick Foley and Edge match. There we go. So hey, we also seen a Sandman appearance during this, which, if there's going to be a I Quit match or any sort of hardcore style match involving Bully Ray, there's going to be an ECW trope thrown in there. It did its thing. It got a nostalgia pop from the crowd because the Hammerstein Ballroom, New York City, is hardcore, extreme ECW. Woo! And Flip Gordon beat Bully Ray in an I Quit match. I thought it was actually the funniest match of the night. I was kind of the sick comedy in me kind of came out during that. I don't put it as match of the night at all. I think it had its spot. I think it had its place, but it established Flip as a credible contender, which he is, for the Ring of Honor Championship in 2019. I think there'll be a point in 2019 that he holds the belt, and hey, going forward, we'll have to see what happens here between Bully and ROH management. That was a lot to digest there, but ergo. Jay Lethal versus Cody for the ROH World Championship. Cody, of course, saying if he wins the ROH title, he's going to take it into free agency with him, a la CM Punk in WWE in 2011. And Jay Lethal, of course, being the Fighting Company Man Champion. This was Cody's first match in Ring of Honor, and by all rumors and accounts, this will be Cody's last match in Ring of Honor with Jay Lethal. So, or the same opponent, 2 years earlier, whatever it is. Match itself, very entertaining. Enjoyed, as always, the interaction between Brandy and Cody, and Brandy and Cody's opponent, I should say, during this match. They have a really good chemistry together. Obviously, again, husband and wife, there would be, but you can see that it's really developed over the past even year or so than what it was even last year, and that Brandy is getting more and more comfortable with her role ringside as the heel valet accompaniment to Cody being the heel wrestler in there, and about the only real deviation of it was All In, when Cody was just such an uber face going into this match and Nick Aldis was the heel. So anyways, Lethal retains the ROH World Championship this was match of the night in my opinion. I thought that this was a solid encounter. The championship was on the line. I thought this was even better than the ladder war. So hey, this was my favorite match of the night. At the very end, we see Jay Lethal celebrating. Cody and Brandy are in the process of hightailing it to the back. Where while that's happening, Marty Scurll slides in under the ropes and kind of has a face-to-face with Jay Lethal, kind of teasing a ROH World Championship match down the line. But wait a second, out walks the NWA World Champion Nick Aldis. So that potentially is teasing a main event for 2019 sometime with Scurll, Aldis, and Lethal for the ROH World Championship. Again, I'm biased, but I'm hoping that it's at the Supercard. It gives them some time to build that up a little bit. But I have a feeling that it might happen a little earlier than that. Whenever they feel like pulling the trigger on it. Don't they have that anniversary show every March, I think it is? Middle of March? Yeah, that might be what they're going for. But anyways, and the match that got the main event spot, the ladder war for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. The Briscoes in this match become the 10-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, defeating SCU, Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky, and the Young Bucks. This one was good. It was, it kind of had more of a feel of like a WWE TLC ladder match, except there was a lot of color from the Briscoes during this thing. Like there was a lot of, you know, salty language and blood in this thing coming from that camp especially. SCU and the Young Bucks just worked so well together. The Briscoes kind of, it was kind of, you know, adding that component in there didn't really do it for me. It to me kind of felt like it was a real weird component, especially after having Mark and Jay go head to head on the ship during that Sea of Honor tournament. I know that was kind of a minor pay-per-view or a minor event in the whole aspect of Ring of Honor, but after seeing that last month and then walking forward to this month, it didn't really do it for me. But you know, kudos to everybody involved for a very entertaining main event. Great capper to a great card, and Final Battle 2018 went in the books, and that's my thoughts about that. My rating out of 10 for the show, which takes into account everything, rewatchability. Would I rewatch this card? Yes, I would. You know, production, if there was any production issues, stuff like that throughout the night. I didn't really notice anything on that end. And just pure enjoyment factor of the show. I also didn't even notice that this thing was 4 hours. It felt like a 3-hour pay-per-view. It was very quick. So I will give Ring of Honor's Final Battle 2018 a 8 out of 10. Very above average to very good Ring of Honor card to close off 2018, leaving more questions than answers. Of course, the Elite leaving, what's going to happen there. Marty Scurll with this new faction that we found out the night after, the Villain Enterprises thing with Brody King and PCO. Where is this going? And on top of that, the whole world title picture. We got a new Women of Honor champion. We have new tag champions. I think the only real champion that retained was Jeff Cobb. What's going to happen to him in 2019 in Ring of Honor? Ring of Honor is poised to do some really neat stuff in 2019, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's cool to see. It's a really awesome promotion. Check out their stuff, and check out the back catalog of stuff they got too, because a lot of very influential names in the wrestling business got their start in Ring of Honor, and or not even their start, became world renowned in Ring of Honor. So anyways, I'm Kellen Nitro. Later days, happy wrestling watching. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this video, comment, and so forth. And now back to watching TLC. Alright, here we go.